Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a virtual server in DigitalOcean. They refer to them as droplets. Every cloud provider usually has their own name for them, but it's just a virtual server. Um, I have a couple of different videos on how to set it up in Amazon and Linode. This one's going to cover DigitalOcean. I've used them probably more for my video game servers than anyone else. I think their pricing's fair and it's really easy to use, straightforward. The dashboard's great. So I'm just going to hop in here. So first thing you got to do is just go to digitalocean.com, sign up. You can get in there really quick, and you can add in your payment. I believe you can add a payment as you sign up or once you're in, but it's really easy. I'm already signed in. Let me. So once you do sign in, you're going to see this page here. You're going to see a bunch of stuff on the side. There's probably only two things you really need to know just to get started. And you also see usage. And that'll show you how much you're spending. So first thing you do is go to droplets on the left-hand side right here. And it's pretty easy. Just hit create droplet. And then you're presented with this next page. And you can choose the different Linux distributions. I always choose Ubuntu. You could choose Debian. Those are the two ones I'm most familiar with when setting up game servers or whatever server you're trying to set up. And then from here is the CPU RAM options. And the most basic one is just shared. You kind of just, if you just look, it's like $6 a month, but you get 1 gig of CPU. It's an AMD processor, and you get it tells you exactly what you get. So you'll have to play with it what you want. I usually always put like my Rust servers. I always put them on this one right here, depending on the size of the map. Yeah, like I said, it just depends on what you're doing. Then there's some CPU optimized ones where you can get up to 4 cores, 8 gigs of RAM. It is 80 a month, but that's pretty huge. You probably can go cheaper and stick to this one. And then you can also stick to the shared model. You have to test the shared model out. But yeah, so you have to go through them all, see how much RAM or CPU you want, depending on what you're doing. And then the cool thing about this is all bandwidth is kind of pre-packaged. You know, like Amazon, it's like downloads free, outbound is like 9 cents a gig. With DigitalOcean, it's basically right here. So the little number, 5 terabyte transfer. So you get up to 5 terabyte upload before they start charging you, which is 5 terabytes huge. Like, I doubt you're going to use that. I've never come close. But yeah, up to that point it's free, and once you do get past that point, I believe it used to be like was it a penny per gig? I don't know. I have to look into it again. But even the overage cost is really cheap. So once you figure out what CPU and RAM combo you want, next you choose the data center region that you want. There's New York, San Francisco. I always do San Francisco since I'm in California, but there is also a couple other ones here. So choose the region you want. There is a network. I'm just leaving it on default. Then these options here are, I usually turn on monitoring. This kind of runs a script once you start the instance up. I'm not going to do that. You can enable IPv6 networking. And then from here is where you choose if you want to use an SSH key, which you'll have to create, or you can just make a password. Sure. And then from there, and this will be the password used to get into the instance. And then from there, you could choose the host name of the instance, name it whatever. And then all you have to do is just hit create droplet. So let's do that now. Now it's creating. And then the only other tab you need to know about on this other side is networking. So if you go to networking, let me see, where was it? Oh, firewalls, there it is. So from here is where you pretty much can choose the port forwarding rules. So if you were to set this up in your own home, you'd have to set your router up to port forward. So this firewall will kind of set up, let's click on it. This will set up what ports a video game server needs for inbound, outbound. or whatever you're building this for. If you need to port forward, so like for like Valheim, I use these ports here, and these are the only ports that are really allowed into the server. And then obviously there's this SSH, which is my IP, so I'm the only person that could basically get into the server. And let's go back. So I think that's it for networking. The Droplet, and here it is. Droplet's good to go. And then once in here, it does have some cool graphs like CPU and load. CPU is the biggest one to obviously watch. And see if there's anything else in here that's important. And if you do want to resize, it's pretty easy. It does require a reboot, but yeah, if you like, oh, I need more RAM, you can upsize it. And there also is snapshots built in. You literally just take a live snapshot. This doesn't require a reboot, and you could always resort back to it later if something happened. And that's pretty much it. You have your instance, and then when you do first connect to it, just go to networking, copy the public IP that you got, and you'll be able to connect to that server. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Hope you guys like this video. And if you're curious about anything else, just let me know. Thanks, guys.